Hi, welcome everyone. I am Joseph Coleman. Welcome to Coleman Report Live today, December 21st. We have a huge show today. We want to welcome Lance Sexton, our Coleman faculty instructor, and a longtime friend, and hasn't been on the show for a while, but Ami Kassar, welcome, CEO and founder of Multifunding. Ami, welcome back. It's been a while, and I know you've been busy with all this stuff. And you are coming in on a very important day today. We had a lot of news over the weekend, but just give us a little background of your company and what you do for the Ominars and the stimulus and the PPP discussions that you provide the industry, which is great.
Sure. So I'm the founder and CEO of Multifunding. We've been around 11 years, primarily acting as loan advisors and brokers, primarily with SBA loans. Since the pandemic started, we've been deeply involved in educating business owners and entrepreneurs about the programs. We have a regular blog at realtime.inc.com, which is open to business owners and entrepreneurs. And we stopped for a while, regular Ominars, which are educational, and now we'll be starting them again this week.
Excellent. Yeah, you have one on Wednesday, 12 Eastern, I believe, and I included the Zoom meeting.
That's correct.
So unpacking the latest COVID relief act and the stimulus bill. We really appreciate you being on. First, I don't know if you remember, we do poll questions in the beginning, and that'll gauge some of the audience. We have a huge crowd today, so let's go into the polls. Under the new stimulus, PPP loans are not considered income, and businesses can deduct the related expenses. True or false? This was a big contentious issue for a long time, and we finally got some glimmering hope of what's going on, right, Ami?
There's differing opinions about if there's any stipulations.
Just got off a telephone call with a SBA borrower prior to the show, and he said his Christmas present arrived early, subject to Congress voting affirmatively.
Right, and just to give the audience, it's 82% said true, so it's an overwhelming majority. What do you think about those results, Alan?
Well, I think it's a good result. The question is, I've heard some rumors, and I don't know if they're verified or not, that there was a cap of $150,000 on it, and that may or may not. And I haven't seen the bill. I don't know if any of you guys have. So, and when we see it, it's going to take a while to digest it. I hear it's 2,000 pages.
And I think Ami's right on point. We all know what we think is in the bill, but until it's actually voted on and we see the finished product, we're not exactly sure what the stipulations are.
We'll go to the second question on idle grants. Idle grants are extended with the new stimulus package. True or false? Or I don't know. And 51% say true, 13 false, and a big portion is I don't know, and I think that's common with that this is so new and it came out late last night. So Ami, what do you have to say about the idle grants?
I believe it's true. I believe there will be additional verifications in there, and I believe that, I don't know if you guys remember, but many folks, based on the smaller payroll, got capped. So if you had, say, 3 employees, your grant was capped at $3,000. Apparently, you can now go get the additional 7.
Well, and the other thing that I hope is in there, which we've been told it is, but I haven't seen it yet, was fixing the problem of the idle grant being reduced from PPP forgiveness.
Right.
Yeah, I'm told that in there as well.
And the last one is on the first round PPP borrowers are going to be included in new available funds. Is that true or false? And that was also a big one. And I think the crowd is overwhelmingly saying 90% yes, 5% no, and I don't know. So Lance, go ahead and confirm this. Is it true?
Well, there's PPP money for those who, there's a second draw PPP is what a lot of people like to call it. There are some qualifications. Like I said, the phone call I had right before the show with a borrower, it appears that, of course, it'll be capped at $2 million. It appears that it will be capped at 300 employees or fewer. And it does appear that the borrower is going to have to show a 30% reduction in a quarter of 2020 versus the same quarter in 2019. Now, most small businesses will be able to do that, Joe. And I mean, second or third quarter, one of those quarters, a lot of small businesses, in particular, hotels, restaurants, dry cleaners, hair salons, they're all going to be able to show that reduction necessary to get the PPP funds.
This is a question that's coming in overwhelmingly. Are the Section 1112 subsidy payments for SBA borrowers included in the new stimulus bill? I think that's
and that's also to be included. And for us SBA lenders, that's a great thing. Our past due lists go away for a while. And a great thing for small business owners that have SBA loans. We've been told that that's included. Read an article right before I came on the show that also confirmed it. But it's like every bill that passes, until we actually see it, we don't know 100% for certain.
Let's get into this. Yeah, go ahead.
You know that, man?
It's been the rumor. Initially, they talked about 12 months, then they talked about 6 months, then they talked about 3 months. The dollar amount that I saw, that I read right before coming on the show would appear to be 6 months, but I still don't know exactly.
Let's get into what we do know. $280 billion for another round of Paycheck Protection Program. And the big one is the tax credit would extend. Can you give us a little insight into what we do know so far?
Yeah, the only thing that seemed to came out a little bit differently today, I had heard the 30% threshold was the ruling, but now it's 25%. And so it makes it a little bit less stringent. And again, just to Lance's point, everything's hearsay until you see the bill, right? And then, so I do think for the lending community, there's going to be this surge of people thinking, oh, they're entitled to another round of PPP because they got it the first time. And that's not entirely the case. There are plenty of businesses that have hung in there just fine this year, and they shouldn't get it, and they're not going to get it. So that's one thing. Another question is how we're going to do the verifications. What's it going to take to prove that you had the income loss? The revenue loss one quarter over last quarter. How's that going to work? That's something that the banking community has to start thinking about right away.
Let's go into some of the questions we've had. We understand that the PPP round will be offered to the borrowers who received PPP first round, but would this new PPP round be offered to those applicants who never received the first round as well? I think you just confirmed that is yes. And then the following statement is part of a couple summaries. My question is referencing to just the 2 round of loans or round 1 as well, please advise. And that sounds simplified forgiveness with 150 or less. Lance, can you give us some insight into what that's going to look like?
Yeah, my understanding is that simplified forgiveness will be expanded to 150 or less. I read something that said it's just going to be a simple one-page certification form similar to the 3508S. And also I saw something that indicated that the borrower would be responsible for keeping the supporting documentation, would not actually have to submit it to the bank, which I think, it's not, I was working through this with my brother. I mean, the documentation was not overwhelming for those who spend it all on payroll. You just throw a 941 in that supports it, but it certainly will make it easier, it's more simplified, and certainly will relieve some of the workload on small businesses and some of the workload on participant banks.
Will the 300 employee number have an exemption for certain industries, i.e. restaurants or hotels? That's from Chris.
I have not heard whether there is an exemption to that. I think they threw in the $2 million cap and the 300 employee cap to try to eliminate some of the media stories that came out as a result of the first go round of PPP. So it's possible there will be an exemption for certain NAICS codes, like hospitality, but I'm not sure.
Let's see, additional subsidy payments for SBA loans. I think we covered that from Kathy. And again, this section 1112 is just coming in left and right. So as we get more information, we can give the exact the length of the payments that will be. I think we are saying that it's 6 months, but that will be hammered out this week.
We should know more.
Yeah, and I think the 90% guarantee and lower fees is going to be an incredible stimulus to participant lenders to encourage them to do new 7A lending. Don't know when it would start. My guess is probably the first of the year, but I don't know.
Another question, Lance, is I don't know if you've heard anything, but in the Senate bill that was floated around, they had increased the SBA maximums to $10 million, but that didn't come out in the House summaries. So I'm curious to know if anyone's heard if that's stuck or not.
I'm with you as well. It was, the Senate bill certainly mentioned $10 million max. I did not see that in what I've seen from the House bill. So
correct. We don't know.
Again,
we don't know.
Can't wait to get the final copy so we can dig through and give exact answers.
Lance, give us a plug on what you're going to talk about tomorrow, and we're also going to offer this next Tuesday after Christmas as well on the new SOP 5053 too.
Well, the SOP 50, of course, as we all know, Congress has given SBAs more enforcement strength, and the 5053 talks about the review process, enforcement actions, and why they could be taken, and what the impact could be on a participant lender. So we're going to dig into that SOP and help you understand what the potential impacts might be on your lending institution.
And again, Ami is speaking on Wednesday on his webinar at noon on the latest information, and seems like it's coming in hourly, and we get a ton of information. It's just updated. So join us tomorrow for more detailed information on the bill and the vote, and we will have Bob back on with Lance, and we look forward to the show with Chris as well. So thank you everyone for joining us today for Coleman Report Live, and we will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern. Thank you, Ami. It's good to see you.
Be well, everyone. Take care now. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.